isn't it a really delicious thing when you understand how it works and you're getting better at trending enough that you are most often in the receptive mode, in the allowing mode, in the getting into the vortex mode. And then you get to witness deliberately, because you're queued up for it, and so you don't miss it. You're on the right wavelength for it. You get to witness what's already been put together, but you get to witness it showing up in conversations, in cooperative experiences, in surprise and delight. Through the years, we've used that phrase, surprise and delight. And Esther said, I get the delight part, but how could there be a surprise? If I'm a deliberate creator, then what's up with the surprise part? And we say, because the more you allow those cooperative components, and the combining of cooperative components produces things that you just couldn't see coming, because there's too much wonderfulness all packed into a moment in time. And you have to be sophisticatedly tuned to a frequency to take all of that in. And so your favorite part, we're putting words in your mouth, but your favorite part is you get all of this. You understand your relationship with your inner being and the vortex and how the vortex is calling you. That's like a craving, isn't it? A craving. It's like an appetite, a craving, a strong interest. So that's all in place. And praying and asking are really the same word. Prayers are interesting because most people, it's not ever a good idea to put everybody in a basket and throw a lid over it and call it same, because there's a lot of difference. But you can pray from your place of appreciation, which is upper half of the emotional scale, or you can pray from need, which is lower half of the scale. Praying, sometimes there's a little more expectation involved if you believe that your prayer is going to be answered. But pray with appreciation. Do everything that you can with appreciation. That holds you in the most often place of readiness to be aware of things coming out of the vortex into your life experience, where you and others can see them and hear them and smell them and taste them and touch them. But your adjustment has to happen before the energy moves in a way that you can be aware of. In other words, if you feel like you're adjusting, then you're still in the state of calibrating. But once you're out ahead of it and tuned to that, there's no adjustment. It's a compelling flow that you just know. Nothing wrong with adjusting. Good to do that. That's what's happening here. Constantly adjusting to whatever's going on in your experience, yes? We would use words like harmony, frequency, tuning to, and there's mutuality. You get what you think about. The law of attraction insists on showing you mutuality. So we're going to say something to you so that you'll cool your jets a little bit and be easier on yourself. And take this softly, but we're going to say it bluntly. While you are in your physical body, there is rarely perfect mutuality between you and your inner being for this reason. You came into this physical experience, that mutuality shifted just a little bit. Inner being stays pure positive energy. You look around at stuff, just like you intended to do, because the contrast helps you launch a rocket of desire. When you ask for something from your place of not yet having it, it's something new that you're wanting to attract. Not real mutuality, because the problem and the solution are different vibrations, not mutuality. But you've launched the rocket, and immediately there's mutuality between your desire and your inner being. There's mutuality between your desire and your inner being and the law of attraction that is gathering all of those cooperative components. Cooperative components implies mutuality. So the only thing that might not be mutual might be you, because you might be doing that thing where you are justifying why you want it rather than just knowing that you deserve it and expecting it to come. So you can tell by the way you feel how mutual you are with everything else that is working for you. And so then, let's say you're aware of that. You've been doing the process. You've been aware of how you feel. And so you think your way and feel your way into alignment with your desire. Now there's no more gap. There's perfect mutuality between you, your desire, your inner being, and the law of attraction, all bringing it all together. And so now, boom, now it manifests where you can see it. And so now you stand with this new creation and a whole new set of contrasting experiences, because there's always another angle and another way of looking at it. And so for a moment, there was perfect mutuality. Then it came into physical experience where other people are observing it. You're observing them observing it. You're adjusting to the new whatever it is. So that mutuality is something that you are reaching for and often finding, and you're in various stages of alignment with it. So you were not completely in alignment. Then you thought yourself into alignment, felt yourself into alignment. Then it manifested now a new set of things, contrasting experiences, which started the whole thing over again. So don't work too hard. Don't insist on constant alignment with your inner being, because that would eliminate, if you could really achieve it and you can't, that would eliminate step one, which is so essential to the whole of all of the whole. And so when you are in sync with Source, there's no fear. Our greatest fear is that someone else will disapprove of our power. That's your greatest fear. So my greatest fear is that I won't be able to tune to my power. And in my power, there can be no fear in terms of the way your relationship with your inner being is. So it's easy to be in your human experience and to believe in a finite pie. And then you can feel some guilt about asking for a nice big slice for yourself, because it could feel like, and it's not wrong in the perspective that you're looking at, that if you eat more than your fair share of the pie, that others that want some of the pie might not get some. But the confusion is that you might think in that situation that there's only one pie. And so that's why we explain it to you in the way that we do, that you know what you don't want and you know what you do want. And so when you ask, then in other words, when you think about it, and we want you to think about it, that as amazing as humans are, and you haven't managed to scrape enough dirt together to launch another planet into orbit. So there must be something else going on. In other words, there must be. Your logic tells you that there must. So let's appeal to your logic some more. So you don't see any pipelines piping resources in. And so that's what makes you believe in the finite. In other words, that it doesn't seem to be any more that is coming forth. But when you step away from making all of your decisions and evaluations based upon what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, and you begin to approach this question from the vibrational reality, vortexual point of view, then your logic starts to give you some leeway as you acknowledge you're having new thoughts. New thoughts are joining with other cooperative components. Source energy is focused there, and things are in the process of becoming that you can't imagine if you're just looking around at what is. But when you become someone who's not just looking around at what is, but instead you're understanding what's going on over here, everything that is manifested, everything manifested. We want to clarify that meaning, because earlier we were talking about an emotion is a manifestation too, because it's discernible. but things that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, that form of manifestation. All of it at one time was a vibrational reality that had been given, but took consciousness to realize it. It isn't until there's a physical realization of something that it comes to be. Someone has to perceive it. So now we're going to get really out there in the twilight zone with you for, in other words, some of this, what we're going to say now is sometimes a reach for humans to even want to consider. So everything that you're calling the minerals and the resources came into awareness, but was one time a vibrational reality. And then we know, you want to know, well, who thought those thoughts? Who set that into motion? In other words, long before man was on this planet, there were other beasts here having exposure to life, exploring contrast, and putting rockets of desires, getting ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. And so that's why it's endless creation. So if you're going to decide that you're going to be the creator of your own reality, then it would be so helpful. We've never said this to anyone before. If you have decided that you want to be the creator of your own reality, then we want to ask you to accept that being the creator of your own reality isn't just regurgitation. And it's not just scouring the planet and gathering up stuff and putting it in different combinations. It's creation of new stuff. It's creation of what has not been before. And your logical minds can show you that as you've been through the Industrial Revolution and now. In other words, you can sort of kind of get the concept of that, but still, most humans still think it's just about moving stuff around and that you're just going to create out of the stuff that exists. And we want to say emphatically to you, you're creating out of stuff that doesn't yet exist, and you're creating the stuff that is needed to create the stuff that you want out of stuff that isn't here yet. You're the creator of all of it, you see. And the way to really grasp this, and really the only way that we've seen any humans yet get close enough to understand it, is this. This is the statement that we really want you to hear. Your inner being, your source energy, your Abraham, your culmination of all that is non-physical, that non-physical energy stands in awareness of the components of your request, knowing that in awareness of the variety of requests that's in the vortex, law of attraction will bring those culminations together and produce creation that as individuals you didn't even know you were a part of. But it's not ever going to go awry. There's not ever going to be a big mistake or any kind of mistake. There's no mistake whatsoever in it, because cooperative components are cooperative components. And what's at the basis of that asking? Eternalness, never-endingness, more fun, more understanding, more satisfaction. You didn't come to fix an earth that is broken. It's not broken. It's also not done. And if it's not done, then we promise you, components that will be part of future civilizations don't look like they exist today because they haven't been asked for yet. But when they are asked for and allowed, then earth will contain them, and there will never be an ending to pies.